কর্তৃক ষষ্ঠ সাউথ এশিয়ান কনফারেন্স ফর স্যানিটেশন শুভ উদ্বোধন অনুষ্ঠানে স্বাগত। আজকের উদ্বোধন অনুষ্ঠানের প্রধান অতিথি গণপ্রজাতন্ত্রী বাংলাদেশের মহামান্য রাষ্ট্রপতি জনাব মোহাম্মদ আব্দুল হামিদ অনুষ্ঠানের স্থলে এসে উপস্থিত হয়েছেন। সুধীবৃন্দ, অনুষ্ঠানের শুরুতেই পবিত্র কুরআন থেকে তেলাওয়াত করছেন ডক্টর কে আব্দুল মোমিন সিরাজি।
At first, we will have a recitation from the Holy Quran by Dr. K. Abdul Momin Shiraji.
সুধীবৃন্দ, এবার পবিত্র গীতা থেকে পাঠ করছেন পণ্ডিত রামদাস আচার্য।
Now we will listen to recitation from the Holy Gita by Pandit Ramdas Acharya.
সদাচার প্রতিষ্ঠায় পবিত্র গীতা পাঠ প্রবর্ততা শ্রীমদ্ ভগবত গীতা অষ্টাদশ অধ্যায় মোক্ষ যুগ শ্রী ভগবান বাচ মন মনা ভব মদ ভক্ত মদ জাতিমান নমস্কুরু মামে পশ্যসি সত্যং তে প্রতিজানি প্রিয়সিমি। শ্রী শ্রী কৃষ্ণার্জুন সংবাদে শ্রীমদ্ ভগবত গীতা আলোচ্য অধ্যায়ে পূর্ণপুরুষ ভগবান শ্রীকৃষ্ণ তার শিষ্য ও সখা অর্জুনকে বলছেন, হে সখে অর্জুন সুজন, আমাকে মন নিবিষ্ট কর, আমার ভক্ত হও, তুমি আমাকে নমস্কার করো, তাহলে তুমি আমাকেই পাবে, কেননা তুমি আমার অতি প্রিয় ভক্ত। আমি তোমাকে সকল পাপ থেকে মুক্ত করব, তাহলে ভালো মন্দ বিচার, বিশ্লেষণ ক্ষমতা, মানব সমাবেদনা এবং অপরাধমূলক কার্যকলাপ সমাজে লোপ পাবে। জীবের প্রতি সদয় না হলে স্রষ্টার নৈকট্য লাভ করা যায় না। মানুষ সৃষ্টির সেরা জীব, জগদীশ্বর জ্ঞান, বুদ্ধি ও বিবেক দিয়ে আমাদের সৃষ্টি করেছে। জগতে সকল প্রাণী শান্তি লাভ করুক। ওম শান্তি, ওম শান্তি, ওম শান্তি।
नमो तच्च भगवतो अरहतो सम्मा सम्बुद्धश्च बुद्धं शरणं गच्छामि धम्मं शरणं गच्छामि संघं शरणं गच्छामि। श्री भगवान সম্পর্কে নমস্কার জানিয়ে বুদ্ধ ধর্ম সঙ্গের শরণ শুরু করছি পবিত্র এই বিরক্তিকে পাঠ। বহু সচ্চাঞ্চ সিদ্ধঞ্চ বিনয়োচ সুচিন্তিত সুভাষিতা চ ইয়া বাচা এতাং মঙ্গলমুত্তমা। বহু শাস্ত্রে জ্ঞান লাভ করা, নানাবিধ শিল্পবিদ্যা শিক্ষা করা, বিনয়ী ও সুশিক্ষিত হওয়া এবং সুভাষিত বাক্য বলা, গৌরবনীয় ব্যক্তি গৌরব করা, পণ্ডিত ব্যক্তির সেবা করা ও পূজনীয় ব্যক্তির পূজা করা, ইহাই উত্তম মঙ্গল। সাব্বে সত্তা সুখিতা ভবন্তু, জগতের সকল প্রাণী সুখী হোক।
এবার পবিত্র বাইবেল থেকে পাঠ করেছেন জেমস তুষার।
Reverend James Tushar will be doing a recitation from the Holy Bible now.
পবিত্র বাইবেলের সৃষ্টি ও সৌন্দর্যের কথা ব্যক্ত আছে। আমি পাঠ করছি। পরে ঈশ্বর আপনার প্রতিমূর্তিতে সৃষ্ট মানুষকে আশীর্বাদ করিলেন। ঈশ্বর কহিলেন, তোমরা প্রজাবন্ধ ও বহুবংশ হও এবং পৃথিবী পরিপূর্ণ ও বশীভূত করো, আর সমুদ্রের মৎস্যগণের উপরে, আকাশের পক্ষীগণের উপরে এবং ভূমিতে গমনশীল যাবতীয় জীবজন্তুর উপরে কর্তৃত্ব করো। ঈশ্বর আরও কহিলেন, দেখো আমি সমস্ত ভূতলস্থিত যাবতীয় বীজ বাদ্য ঔষধীয় যাবতীয় সজীব ফলদায়ী বৃক্ষ তোমাদিকে দিলাম। পরমেশ্বর তাহার সৃষ্ট বস্তু সকলের প্রতি দৃষ্টিপাত করিলেন, আর দেখো সকলেই উত্তম। সকলকে সুপ্রভাত। প্রিয় সুধীবৃন্দ, পবিত্র বাইবেল ব্যক্ত করে ঈশ্বরের সৃষ্টি উত্তম, আর এই উত্তমতা রক্ষার সিস্টেমও সৃষ্টির মধ্যে রেখেছিলেন। কাজেই এর উত্তমতা অর্থাৎ পরিচ্ছন্নতা রক্ষার দায়িত্ব আমাদেরই। বর্তমানে সর্বত্র আমাদের অযত্ন এবং অবহেলার কারণে সৌন্দর্য নষ্ট হচ্ছে, যা জরুরি রক্ষার পদক্ষেপ নেওয়া একান্ত প্রয়োজন। আশা করি আমরা সকলে এই পবিত্র দায়িত্ব পালনে এগিয়ে আসবো। এই সম্মেলন সার্থক হবে। ধন্যবাদ।
সম্মানিত সুধী, এখন বাংলাদেশ শিল্পকলা একাডেমির শিল্পীদের পরিবেশিত হচ্ছে SACOSAN-VI এর সঙ্গে। মহামান্য রাষ্ট্রপতি অতিথিবৃন্দকে উপভোগ করার জন্য বিনীত অনুরোধ জানাচ্ছি।
Ladies and gentlemen, performers from Bangladesh Shilpakola Academy will be presenting the theme song of SACOSAN-VI.
পরিবেশিত হচ্ছে বাংলাদেশ টুয়ার্ডস সাস্টেইনেবল স্যানিটেশন নিয়ে নির্মিত একটি ভিডিওগ্রাফি।
I request the members in the audience to sit back and enjoy the insightful.
The people of Bangladesh achieved independence in 1971 under the leadership of the father of the nation, Bangabandhu Sheikh Mujibur Rahman. Sanitation coverage of the newly independent Bangladesh was only 1%. But Bangabandhu's vision has guided the nation in addressing the many challenges the nascent nation faced, including sanitation challenge. After taking extensive initiatives by the government, today Bangladesh can proudly claim that 99% of the people have access to the treatment, and improved sanitation coverage is 61%, according to Joint Monitoring Program, JMP.
20 বছর আগে বাড়িতে বিয়ে হয় তখন কোনো ল্যাট্রিন ছিল না, ঠোক জমলে আগে পায়খানা করতাম। এখন আমাদের একটা সুন্দর একটা ল্যাট্রিন হয়েছে, আমরা পরিবারের সবাই ল্যাট্রিন ব্যবহার করি।
Successes of sanitation coverage in Bangladesh contributed to reducing child mortality and alleviating poverty. As recognition of these successes, Bangladesh received UN MDG Award in 2010 and South Award in 2013. To address the lamentable sanitation scenario, in 1975, the Department of Public Health Engineering, DPHE, introduced highly subsidized water seal latrines with concrete slab. This initiative was expanded to water seal latrines production centers at the sub-district levels in 1979. The DPHE implemented the social mobilization program between 1988 and 1999 to involve the community in sanitation and hygiene activities. The initiative led to a decentralized approach to services by involving the local government, non-government organizations, NGOs, development partners, and community-based organizations. The community-led total sanitation, CLTS, was first introduced in 1999. CLTS was the first step on the sanitation ladder that convinced people to abandon open defecation and opt for fixed-place defecation.
The local government division is the prime movers for sanitation development all over the country through Department of Public Health Engineering and also with the help of development partners. We have almost achieved open defecation free Bangladesh. For total sanitation coverage, there are some challenges remaining. We seek cooperation from all levels to accelerate improved sanitation.
Bangladesh is now aiming at sustainable sanitation, and DPHE has started promoting sanitation marketing involving the private sector to ensure this goal is met.
Government has instituted a national campaign for sanitation with the sustained effort and the clear direction of the Prime Minister Honorable Sheikh Hasina. Open defecation has been reduced to only 1%. Government is putting emphasis on achieving global sanitation for the whole country.
The echo of positive change towards sustainable sanitation is now reverberating across Bangladesh.
একটি স্বাস্থ্যসম্মত ল্যাট্রিনের দাম টাকা দিয়ে হয় না, এর চেয়ে অনেক বেশি।
স্বাস্থ্যসম্মত ল্যাট্রিন ব্যবহার করি, সুস্থ সুন্দর জীবন করি।
অর্জুন বাহাদুর থাপা মহাসচিব সার্ক সেক্রেটারিয়েট তাকে বক্তব্য রাখার জন্য বিনীত আহ্বান করছি।
Ladies and gentlemen, now I would like to request His Excellency Arjun Bahadur Thapa, Secretary General, SAARC Secretariat, to deliver his speech.
The Honorable Mahmoud Abdul Hamid, President of the People's Republic of Bangladesh. The Honorable Khandakar Warshaf Hossain, Minister for Local Government, Rural Development and Cooperation of Bangladesh. Honorable Ministers, Excellencies, distinguished delegates, ladies and gentlemen. It's a great honor and a privilege for me to address the inaugural session of the 6th South Asian Conference on Sanitation being held today in this beautiful city of Dhaka. It is all the more a pleasure for me as I do so at a South Asian event that brings together representatives of all the member states of SAARC. Their collective presence at this conference demonstrates their eagerness to strengthen collaboration in sanitation measures to ensure a better life of our peoples across the region. I would also like to duly acknowledge the august presence in our midst this morning of the Honorable Mahmoud Abdul Hamid, President of the People's Republic of Bangladesh, as chief guest of this inaugural session. The Honorable President's presence this morning not only signifies the importance of this event, but also amply testifies the importance that Bangladesh attaches to sanitation and hygiene practices. On this note, I would like to warmly felicitate the government of Bangladesh for hosting SACOSAN-VI on a very topical theme as better sanitation for life. Having been the pioneering host of the first ever South Asian Conference on Sanitation in 2003, Bangladesh has done a commendable job by yet again organizing this 6th conference. With Bangladesh as its chair, which owes most of the success of the SACOSAN process, there is therefore much to expect from this conference. I would also like to take this opportunity to thank the esteemed government of Bangladesh for inviting me and my delegation to this important event and for the warm reception and gracious hospitality extended to us since our arrival here. As the incumbent citizen of SAARC, it's always a pleasure for me to be in Dhaka for several reasons. Dhaka not only is the capital city of one of the founding members of SAARC, Bangladesh, but it's also the venue of the first SAARC summit of the South Asian Heads of State or government held way back in December 1925. Bangladesh has also been the venue of the 7th SAARC summit in April 1993 and the 30th SAARC summit in November 2005. Moreover, since the establishment of SAARC, Bangladesh has been playing a constructive role in its evolution. Honorable Chief Guest, distinguished delegates, ladies and gentlemen, in recent years, South Asia has seen gradual improvements in sanitation and the proportion of people using improved sanitation measures has increased significantly. With the commitment of the governments of the region to improve sanitation and hygiene in their respective countries, open defecation has reduced significantly and access to clean toilets has increased considerably. Moreover, comprehensive national policies have been adopted by the countries in the region with sanitation as a priority. In the meanwhile, increased community initiatives have set great examples for tackling the issue. However, I must frankly mention that much remains to be done to address the issue of sanitation in the South Asian region. I say this for a number of reasons. In spite of various strides made and significant headway achieved over the past decades, even today we get to see the garbage, the cesspools, and the lack of sanitation in our villages. Even villages that have customers' houses, schools, and hospitals lack basic toilet facilities. In many parts of South Asia, diarrhea and intestinal worms caused by poor sanitation and hygiene practices and unsafe drinking water are still the major causes of suicide, malnutrition, disease, and death. honorable chief guests, distinguished delegates, ladies and gentlemen. SAARC provides a platform for the member states to share experiences and learn collectively from the best practices to accelerate progress towards achieving clean and safe sanitation in the region. In 2014, with the support of UNICEF, SAARC adopted the South Asia Regional Action Framework for Sanitation in line with the directives of the SAARC held recently. The framework, which was launched by the SAARC foreign ministers during the 18th SAARC summit held in Kathmandu in November 2014, not only presents an overview of the sanitation status and trends in the region, but it also highlights the international and regional commitments made by the SAARC member states to improve the sanitary conditions of the people of South Asia, including the MDGs and the SACOSAN-VI declaration. I am glad to mention that the document, composite of very useful framework of strategies and actions, recognizes SACOSAN as a key regional process for the promotion of sanitation in South Asia. As we meet in Dhaka to renew our commitment and recommend a way forward, we must take due note of the fact that 40% or more of the population in the region has no access to toilet. Over 610 million people defecate in the open, and more than a third of the schools in the region do not have toilets. In the meanwhile, let's avail ourselves of this opportunity to recall the 2030 Global Agenda for Sustainable Development, SDGs, of the United Nations, which, among others, aims for universal coverage of safely managed sanitation services under SDG Target 6.2 and an increase in the safe treatment of wastewater under SDG Target 6.3. On this occasion, let us also recall the commitments we have made through SAARC and SACOSAN and review the progress we have made towards their implementation. In all earnest, I believe that this event is a fitting occasion for us to commend the excellent work they have so far done, as well as to single out our lapses in the process. Amidst this background, the conference is a very timely and praiseworthy initiative. I hope that the outcome document of this conference, namely the Dhaka Declaration, will pave the way for new initiatives towards ending open defecation, increasing access to clean toilets, and increasing investment in sound sanitation policy and intervention across the region. I wish this conference every success. Thank you very much for your kind attention.
I would like to request Mr. Atikullah Khawasi, Honorable Deputy Minister, Ministry of Rural Rehabilitation and Development, Afghanistan, to address his speech.
Honorable President of Bangladesh, Muhammad Abdul, Honorable Minister of Local Government and Development of Bangladesh, Honorable Arjun, Secretary General, SAARC, Excellencies, Ministers of member countries of SAARC, distinguished experts, colleagues, ladies and gentlemen, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Good morning to all of you. I would like to thank the government of Bangladesh for hosting the conference for the second time, and many thanks for the honor of being the first speaker among the SAARC member countries to address the conference. This somehow often happens to us at international gatherings. I very much welcome the opportunity to speak at the 6th South Asian Conference on Sanitation, a hugely important regional platform to exchange experience for improving sanitation and hygiene situation of the people in South Asia. Since the first SACOSAN conference in 2003, Afghanistan has made great progress and increasing the population with access to improved drinking water source, and we have seen that open defecation prevalence has decreased significantly. Unfortunately, access to improved sanitation in Afghanistan is still lagging behind. According to our latest household survey, 1/5 of the Afghan population still practice open defecation. And rural areas that amounts to 1 in 4 households, whereas traditionally latrine use in Afghanistan is high, but many of the facilities do not meet the minimum hygiene standards of WHO and UNICEF. Improved sanitation coverage in Afghanistan, according to the latest household survey by the Central Statistics Organization, is estimated to be only 39%. The public health burden resulting from this low coverage is huge. Our latest nutrition survey showed that 41% of the Afghan children under 5 years age are sunburned, which is a manifestation of undernutrition so closely linked to poor hygiene and sanitation. Our under 5 mortality rate has decreased significantly, but is still high at 91 per 1,000 live births. Pneumonia and diarrhea are still the main killers of children. Ending open defecation and increasing access to safe and sustainable sanitation is critical to ending preventable child deaths in Afghanistan. Respected country delegates, honorable participants, in line with the new citizen charter that our government recently developed to deliver a comprehensive package of services to the remote and vulnerable population of Afghanistan, the Ministry of Rural Rehabilitation and Development, in close coordination of the Ministry of Public Health, sector NGOs and UNICEF, recently developed a strategy to end open defecation by 2025, which is in line with the call by the Deputy Secretary General of the United Nations 2 years ago. We intend to scale up the Afghan context of community-led total sanitation approach, which was successfully introduced in Afghanistan in 2009 and will be aided in that by $100 million USAID funded integrated hygiene, sanitation and nutrition program that would start in the first quarter of 2016 and provinces with high standing and open defecation prevalence. Ladies and gentlemen, Afghanistan will be one of the 2 representatives of SAARC countries on the steering committee of the Global Sanitation and Water for All initiative. We are honored to represent you at the Sanitation and Water for All and will work hard with our international partners to ensure that sanitation, hygiene, and drinking water receives the political support and funding it deserves to meet the ambition, but so critical newly adopted Sustainable Development Goal number 6 on water and sanitation to ensure availability and sustainable management of water and sanitation for all. Concluding, I would like to convey Afghanistan's sincere thanks once again to the government of Bangladesh for hosting this SACOSAN conference for the 2nd time and for their warm hospitality. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you, His Excellency Mr. Ahmed Jan Naim, Deputy Minister, Islamic Republic of Afghanistan.
সুধীবৃন্দ, বক্তব্য রাখার জন্য আহ্বান জানাচ্ছি মাননীয় মন্ত্রী ভুটান।
Now, I would like to request Dr. Pandam Sharing, Honorable Officiating Health Minister, Bhutan, to share a few words with the audience.
Honorable Chief Guest, President of the People's Republic of Bangladesh, Honorable Ministers, His Excellency Mr. Arjun Balata, Secretary General of the State Secretariat, heads of delegations, members of the UN organizations, international agencies, representatives from NGOs, media, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. It is indeed a great honor and privilege for me to be addressing this distinguished gathering on the inaugural session of the 6th South Asian Conference on Sanitation. On behalf of the Bhutanese delegation and on my own behalf, I would like to extend a heartfelt gratitude and sincere thanks to the organizing committee and the government of the People's Republic of Bangladesh for the invitation and hospitality extended to us and for hosting the South Asian Conference on Sanitation for the second time. I am pleased to inform this August gathering that Bhutan was honored to host the 8th Inter-Country Working Group meeting in September 2015. It was attended by representatives from all the member countries and other event agencies and international CSOs. The meeting fulfilled the objectives of taking stock of the progress in response to Kathmandu Declaration 2013 and also deliberated on the objectives of the very conference and agreeing on other debate works. Today, we are all assembled here to share key progresses made and challenges confronted against the joint commitments that our member countries made at the 5th SACOSAN in Kathmandu, Nepal, 2 years ago. From the 8th Inter-Country Working Group meeting in Bhutan, it was very encouraging to know that all member countries have made significant progress since the last conference in increasing the access to sanitation and hygiene facilities. Therefore, it is very important that we share and learn the best practices from each other and take it back to our own countries. This, in true sense, symbolizes the effort to collectively realize the commendable initiatives of SACOSAN in tackling the sanitation and hygiene challenges in the region. In Bhutan, despite the commendable progress made in sanitation and hygiene coverage, viral disease incidence still remains high. However, we see improvement in nutrition status of children. To accrue the benefits of sanitation coverage, we have embarked on upscaling the subsidy-free improved rural sanitation and hygiene program nationally. The program specifically focuses on community-led sanitation demand creation, market-based supply chain, hygiene behavioral change communication, waste governance to develop a sustainable service delivery model with due consideration of people living with disability, elderly, gender, and socially inclusive approach. Further, the government's emphasis is given on improved performance monitoring and evidence-based learning. With these few words, ladies and gentlemen, let's look forward to a very productive deliberation during the 3-day conference towards realizing our common goal of universal access to improved sanitation facilities, hygiene practices for better health and better life. Finally, let me once again thank the organizing committee and the government of the People's Republic of Bangladesh for the warm welcome and hospitality, and wish every success of this 6th South Asian Conference on Sanitation. Thank you and respect.
I would like to request the Honourable Minister, Mr. Chaudhry Virender Singh, Ministry of Rural Development, Panchayati Raj, Sanitation and Drinking Water, India, to deliver his speech.
His Excellency Muhammad Abdul
representative of international agencies, ladies and gentlemen. Representing India at the head of the Ministry of Drinking Water and Sanitation, it is my privilege to participate in the 6th South Asian Conference on Sanitation in Dhaka. I would like to express my greetings and congratulations to the government of Bangladesh for hosting the 6th SACOSAN. I also extend my greetings to the country heads and delegates of Pakistan, Afghanistan, Bangladesh, Bhutan, Maldives, Nepal, and Sri Lanka, and other invited delegates. We are gathered here together to deliberate on the various policies and implementation strategies, to share cross-level best practices, and to prepare a common and constructive roadmap to tackle the menace of open defecation and take other measures which will lead to improved sanitation and hygiene. It was a turning point in the sanitation history of India when Prime Minister of India, Sri Lanka, mentioned from the ramparts of the Red Fort on 15th August 2014, the occasion of India's 68th Independence Day. The poor need respect, and it begins with cleanliness. I therefore have to launch a Clean India campaign from 2nd October this year and carry it forward in 4 years. Many were surprised. Prime Minister of a country that is emerging as one of the fastest growing economies in the world, a country that houses 1/6 of the world's population, taking up the issue of cleanliness as a priority for his government friends. The Prime Minister had to take up this agenda personally in order to kickstart the process of achieving Swachh Bharat, Clean India, in a short time frame of 5 years by 2nd October 2019. As a befitting tribute on the occasion of the 150th birth anniversary of Father of Nation, Mahatma Gandhi, who considered sanitation as next to godliness. Our Prime Minister realized that poor sanitation was closely linked with poor health, low education status, malnutrition and poverty. How can a country that has accomplished many feats that's astonished the world at large today to continue to bear this stigma of poor sanitation and hygiene status? We also recognize that the work of sanitation cannot be responsibility of the government alone. It has to be evolved as a citizens' movement with involvement of people and all sects of society. In response to Prime Minister's call, my government launched Swachh Bharat Mission on 2nd October 2014 to achieve, accelerate, and universal sanitation coverage, improve cleanliness, and eliminate open defecation in India by 2019. The program is considered India's biggest drive to improve sanitation, hygiene, and cleanliness in the country. The effectiveness of the program is predicted upon generating demand for toilets, leading to their construction and sustained use by all the household members. It also aims to promote better hygiene behavior amongst the population and improve cleanliness by initiating solid and liquid waste management. This is to be bolstered with adequate implementation capacities in terms of trained personnel, financial incentives, and system and procedures for planning and monitoring. There is stronger focus on behavior change intervention, including interpersonal communication, strengthening implementation, and delivery mechanism down to the village level, and giving states flexibility to design delivery mechanism that take into account local culture, practices, sensibilities, and demands. The progress in sanitation has witnessed a spurt since the launch of the Swachh Bharat mission. In the first year of the mission itself, that is from 2nd October 2014 Since the percentage of population having access to improved sanitation is growing up at a galloping pace and stands at about 49.4% as when I speak. The focus of Swachh Bharat Mission is on behavior change and usage of toilets. While individual toilets continue to be provided on demand, there is a focus on village saturation and achievement of open defecation-free communities. This involves collective behavioral change of the entire community through intensive triggering and follow-up. This change of mindset involving changing of age-old habits is a very challenging task. However, we understand its importance for the health benefits as well as for sustainability program. The uniform parameters of ODF have been defined so that there is a common understanding of the term across the country. Guidelines for ODF verification have also been issued. A key thrust of Swachh Bharat Mission program is the flexibility provided to the states in implementation. The states can now, depending on their socio-economic cultural values, adopt strategies considered most appropriate to them. The center is lined to focus on evaluating actual outcomes and promoting a cross-sharing of the best practices between the states. The typical outcome parameters include reduction in open defecation, achievement of open defecation-free villages, and improvement in solid and liquid waste management. Many states are utilizing this flexibility to implement the program in a manner best suited to them and encouraging innovation. The program has been strong thrust on equity and focuses on the marginalized sections. The emphasis of the program of community approach ensures that all sections of the community, especially the poor and the marginalized, participate in the deliberation and decision and the community towards adopting safer sanitation practice. The program also incentivizes toilet construction and usage by poor and marginalized households. An incentive of 12,000 rupees is available for individual latrines. The states have flexibility to give this incentive amount either to the individual households or to the community as a whole. India is acutely aware of the impact of India's sanitation status on the overall progress of the sanitation in the region and the world. Brothers and sisters, I assure you that India will not be found wanting on any of the parameters of sanitation. India is committed to meeting Sustainable Development Goal 6 that calls for ensuring availability and sustainable management of water and sanitation. Several important initiatives have been taken to expedite the program. The focus on capacity building has been increased, especially the skills pertaining to community processes and triggering of collective behavioral change. A 360-degree behavior change communication strategy is being deployed. States, regional level workshops involving all key stakeholders such as collectors, CEO, Zilla Panchayat, Chairman Zilla Panchayat, etc. are being held. Since sanitation is a state subject and state district are the actual implementing units of the program, the center-state coordination has been increased. Social media, Twitter, Facebook, Hike, and WhatsApp are being extensively used for sharing innovative ideas and across learning. The Swachh Vidyalaya campaign, a component of the Swachh Bharat Mission, which aims to provide separate toilets for girls and boys in all remaining schools of the country within 1 year, achieved remarkable success. And the targets were fully achieved with 4,17,796 toilets added to 2,61,400 government elementary and secondary schools during 15th August 2014 to 15th August 2015. This was achieved by a combination of efforts from government, public and corporate sectors and private contribution. As the Swachh Bharat Mission has entered the second year momentum achieved in the first year, but also multiplying the efforts towards a deepened understanding and deployment of community processes, strengthening of implementation capacity, promoting innovation in addressing various social and technical challenges, and continuing the focus of sustainability of outcome. I look forward to enriching the deliberation on various sanitation-related issues over the next 3 days. Thank you.
I would like to request the Honorable Minister, Mr. Abdullah Zia, Ministry of Environment and Energy of Maldives, to deliver his speech.
His Excellency, President of the People's Republic of Bangladesh, Hamad Abdul Hamid, Excellencies, Honorable Ministers, Heads of Country Delegates, Sanitation Experts, Civil Society Groups, Sanitation Workers, Community Groups, Media Representatives, ladies and gentlemen, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. On behalf of the Government of Maldives, and on my own behalf, I would like to express my warm wishes and appreciation to the Government of Bangladesh for the excellent arrangement and for the generous hospitality offered to all the delegates. It's indeed a great honor for me to address the 6th South Asian Conference on Sanitation, being inaugurated in this beautiful and vibrant city of Dhaka. I congratulate the Government of Bangladesh for organization and hosting this important gathering for the second time in the history of SACOSAN. Excellencies, since 2003, the need to strengthen and intensify regional cooperation for improving access to sanitation and to make the region free from open defecation, including the need to address the challenges, have been raised at several meetings by SACOSAN member countries. Today again, we are all gathered here to give more assurance and make new commitments for improving sanitation across South Asia region. No doubt, improved sanitation plays an important role for our survival and is an essential element to ensure better human health and comfort. Sanitation has been once a neglected topic, governed by inconsistent and fragmented policies. The South Asia region we are living in shares part of the largest and most populous of Earth's continents. Located in both the north and eastern hemispheres, South Asia region comprises 3.4% of the world's land area, but 1/5 of the world's current population, and about 39.5% of Asia's population. It is also the largest concentration on Earth with underprivileged people. The task of providing improved sanitation has been a challenge in the region. Due to limited resources, limited funds, and diversity of technology options, regardless of the limitations, the passion and interest expressed, and the efforts made by SACOSAN member countries for improving access to safer water, sanitation, and hygiene to its people are to be commended. The commitments being made by member states since SACOSAN-VI in 2003 have been strong, and the results have been seen. Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, in 2015, an estimated 2.4 billion people globally did not have access to improved sanitation facilities. Of them, about 950 million defecated in the open. In South Asia region we are living, more than 953 million people are still without access to sanitation, with highest number of open defecators. We are gathered here to share progress made against joint commitments we made at the 5th SACOSAN held in Kathmandu in year 2013. The theme, Better Sanitation, Better Life, for the 6th SACOSAN, to be seen in the coming days, will not only reflect better sanitation, better life. It will also reflect better health, better future. Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, the Maldives is the smallest country in this region and the only low-lying island nation among its participating member states, with a total population of only 350,000 people, spread in 198 islands. Our total number of islands is about 1,200. The average elevation of these islands from mean sea level is only about 1.5 meters. Maldivians defecated openly in the bush and on the beach. Unsuccessful trials of human excreta disposal systems were among various types of sanitation systems practiced. The introduction of on-site septic tank systems have been the benchmark for the modern sewerage systems being implemented across Maldives. Efforts are being made now in securing and increasing finance for increasing the coverage with improved water and sanitation. By end of 2015 alone, over $100 million and $27.5 million from government budget have been secured for developing improved water and sanitation infrastructure. By end of 2014, about 31 islands have been developed with improved modern sewerage systems. Excellencies, we have crossed and graduated from UN Millennium Development Goals to Sustainable Development Goals target. We are here to make new commitments for ensuring availability and sustainable management of water and sanitation for all. With the top policy makers and sanitation experts gathered here, we renew and revisit our commitments, strengthen our networks with the necessary knowledge and skills to ensure that we provide adequate sanitation for our people in the region for better sanitation and better life. Excellencies, provision of improved sanitation is a complex and controversial issue that needs creative thinking and cooperation among all sectors of society. It needs good governance, good science, and good management. It needs a solid regulatory framework. It needs well-managed utilities to generate adequate revenues for improving the service. Concluding, I hope that this conference will further strengthen our will and contribute in improving access to sanitation across the South Asia region. With this, Excellencies, Honorable Ministers, ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of the Government of Maldives and the delegates from Maldives attending this meeting, I would like to express our profound appreciation to the Government of Bangladesh for the excellent arrangements. I wish success to all of us next time. Thank you.
I would like to request the Honorable Secretary, Mr. Suresh Prakash Acharya, Ministry of Water Supply and Sanitation of Nepal, to deliver his speech.
Honorable Chair, Right Honorable President, distinguished country delegates, representatives from media and civil societies, ladies and gentlemen. I am highly privileged and honored to lead the Nepalese delegation to this SACOSAN-VI here in Dhaka as the first secretary for recently established Ministry of Water Supply and Sanitation in Nepal. The government of Bangladesh deserves high appreciation for hosting the conference for the second time as its commitment to uplift the abject living condition of our people in South Asia region. The prevailing insanitary condition where every other citizen in our region has to hide their faces every morning as they attend to the basic call of nature is not only a scar to our dignity, but is a major reason why our children and other vulnerable groups die or become seriously impaired. Improper management of human faces is costing us not only billions of rupees or takas every year in terms of medical expenses and productive human days, but millions of lives that have been contributed to the prosperity of our nations are being lost as well. I strongly believe that SACOSANs have now transformed into a movement in an effort to sensitize, build awareness, promote networking, and enhance partnership among our people and countries towards overcoming this single barrier to our prosperity. It has thus become a process to build political will for sanitation in South Asia. In this context, I appeal to this galaxy of learned people to think beyond targets, which may probably be achieved by pumping large resources, but it will not necessarily assure the effectiveness of outcomes. What we require is sustainable change in hygienic behavior and practices, quality of services, and generation of self-propelling movement in sanitation. Your Excellencies, the initiatives of the past SACOSANs have been instrumental toward bringing marked changes in the sanitation situation in our countries by promoting partnership, sharing innovations, and enhanced government commitments. While moving towards achieving universal coverage of basic sanitation services by 2017, Nepal had badly struck by a devastating earthquake last year, causing colossal loss of lives and assets. Despite the current bizarre situation in Nepal, we are striving deterministically toward achieving open defecation-free Nepal by 2017. About 81% people have now access to toilets. 32 out of 75 districts have been declared open defecation-free areas to date. Formation of a dedicated ministry for water and sanitation shows that our government is giving high priority to water sector. We are continually involved in the sector reform process. Amendment in our sector policies, acts, and rules are underway and will be enforced very soon. Lastly, I once again take this opportunity on behalf of my country and my fellow delegates to congratulate the Right Honourable President of Bangladesh. Thanks to the government and people of Bangladesh and to the organizers for hosting this grand event. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Pakistan High Commission, Bangladesh.
I would like to request Mr. Shuja Alam, His Excellency, the High Commissioner of Pakistan, to deliver his speech.
Honorable President of the People's Republic of Bangladesh, Honorable Ministers, Secretary General SAARC, distinguished country representatives, ladies and gentlemen, Assalamu alaikum and a very good morning. Let me start by bringing the greetings of the people of Pakistan on the occasion of the 6th meeting of SACOSAN and commend the efforts of SACOSAN over the last decade to provide strategic direction to the countries of the region. It has helped greatly in addressing the predicament of sanitation, which has a huge bearing on the health and economy of our respective countries. We look forward with keen interest to the outcomes of this conference and how the recommendations ensuing from the deliberations may be applied in Pakistan's context. Since the launch of the Millennium Development Goals and their end in 2015, Pakistan has made substantial progress in increasing the rate of improved sanitation, even though we are still short of original MDG targets. But we believe that we are on the right trajectory, and if we continue with our collaborative efforts at current pace, we can look forward to achieving our objectives in the near future. In the past few years, Pakistan has achieved a few milestones. The President of Pakistan inaugurated the second SACOSAN meeting, which brought together all major stakeholders in water and sanitation sector to discuss the implications and recommendations of SACOSAN-V and how this could be implemented in Pakistan. Pakistan also participated in the sanitation and water for all meeting and pledged to increase sector funding. One of the major developments is the growing political commitment for the sector and increased awareness among the policymakers and planners for the need to invest in water, sanitation and hygiene. One of the key lessons that we have learned during the last 10 years is the increasing importance of multi-sectoral planning and joint implementation for water and sanitation programs. For instance, adequate sanitation and drinking water facilities at schools play a key role in both school health and education, while linking up with health and nutrition programs contributes to lowering child mortality and morbidity rates. These developments would not have been possible without the continued support of the UN agencies and bilateral and multilateral assistance, international and national non-governmental organizations and civil society, to whom we are very grateful. With the launch of Sustainable Development Goals, Pakistan looks forward with great optimism to meet its sanitation challenges. While we have covered much ground, there is still a number of challenges that need to be addressed to reduce inequities and enhance coverage and access to improved sanitation. The establishment of local bodies government in Pakistan has brought new opportunities for addressing grassroots participation in the investigation of rural sanitation programs. On behalf of Pakistan, we look forward to learning from the many distinguished leaders from the South Asian countries. I wish this conference every success. Thank you.
Now I would like to call upon Mr. Nimal Hityarachi, Secretary, Ministry of City Planning and Water Supply, Sri Lanka, to deliver his speech.
His Excellency, the President Muhammad Abdul Hamid of People's Republic of Bangladesh, Honorable Ministers representing SAARC countries, representatives of the SAARC Secretariat, United Nations worldwide, heads of the delegation and focal person of SACOSAN-VI, SACOSAN Conference Secretariat officials, which includes delegates, ladies and gentlemen. It is an honor to be here with you today and a great privilege for me to address at the 6th South Asian Conference on Sanitation. I deliver this speech on behalf of Honorable Rauf Hakim, Minister of City Planning and Water Supply in Sri Lanka, since he will be joining with us later. very important commitment in Sri Lanka. I wish to congratulate Government of Bangladesh, organization and fostering SACOSAN-VI and for the hospitality, extended and attractive arrangement made for all of us here in Dhaka. We are proud to be here in home to evergreen hill ranges and Bay of Bengal. And we are proud that Bangladesh is the only West South Asian country that had two SACOSAN conferences, water and sanitation. These are two basic services which all of us need every day. These are services the developed world takes for granted, but in the developing world are often neglected. It's why water and sanitation deserves the attention of the highest policymakers around the South Asian region in this context. The theme for the SACOSAN, better sanitation, better life, is very important theme for the future generation. We have the audience, top policymakers, as well as experts gathered here under an umbrella tree. Together, all of us should make use few days of conference on strategies on sustainable development, improving sanitation coverage to ensure we provide adequate sanitation for all people in South Asian region. I think regional coordination is vitally important to achieve our targets. Today, we as members of SACOSAN, I believe that we had a great commitment to achieve the targets of SACOSAN in our country. Sri Lanka government has taken many attempts to improve sanitation. The commitment to implement the decision embodied in the Colombo Declaration of 2011 in SACOSAN. As a result, in Sri Lanka, we now have a dedicated budget allocation to sanitation. I am proud to announce that Sri Lanka has achieved 93% on improved sanitation coverage and 98.6% of total sanitation coverage. We have two steps to achieve our targets. During 5th South Asian Conference on Sanitation held in Kathmandu in 2013, Sri Lanka proposed to mainstream child and youth participation in policy and knowledge forums on sanitation at both national and regional. Furthermore, Sri Lanka committed to initiate such forum before the 6th SACOSAN. I am proud to tell you all that we have established regional center for sanitation in our country, and it must be organized South Asian student was conferencing last year in Sri Lanka. Regional center for sanitation should be strengthened and continuous vigilant activities to be done in natural disasters, especially on providing sanitation facilities. And South Asian Student Conference to be developed and strengthened to carry out regional activities on sanitation with the support of the group. So much remains to be done, but if we try, result can be achieved even in the most challenging situation. All of us, not only home, but everybody throughout the South Asian region involved in this area, need to work with a perspective, proactive. Achievement are not far for South Asian region on sanitation coverage. Life is made up of small community oil, and for everything we take with us, there is something that we believe we have. Hope that SACOSAN-VI will give us great opportunities on regional development and sanitation. Thank you.
এবারে বক্তব্য রাখার জন্য বিনীত আহ্বান জানাচ্ছি আজকের অনুষ্ঠানের সম্মানিত সভাপতি, স্থানীয় সরকার, পল্লী উন্নয়ন ও সমবায় মন্ত্রণালয়ের মাননীয় মন্ত্রী জনাব খন্দকার মোশাররফ হোসেন এমপি।
I would like to request the Honorable Minister, Khondokar Musharraf Hossain MP, Ministry of LGRD and Cooperatives, to deliver his speech.
Honorable President of the People's Republic of Bangladesh, Mr. Mohammad Abdul Hamid, respected heads of delegation from Afghanistan, Bhutan, India, Maldives, Nepal, Pakistan and Sri Lanka, Secretaries General of SAARC, members of Parliament, representative of UN agencies, development partners, NGOs, civil society, members of print and electronic media, ladies and gentlemen, Assalamu alaikum. It is our pleasure to be the host of the 6th Asian Conference on Sanitation in Dhaka on this beautiful winter morning. We are honored and happy to have our Honorable President amongst us today. I, on behalf of my ministry and all delegates participating in this conference, thank the Honorable President for his kind and gracious presence to inaugurate this conference. This manifests the commitment of Bangladesh towards attaining full sanitation coverage in shortest possible time. The theme of this 6th conference is Better Sanitation, Better Life, which has rightly pointed out the need of sanitation for a healthy environment. I expect that conference will be able to highlight this fact among all participating countries through discussions, consultations, and knowledge shared. All of you know that SACOSAN is a government-led biennial convention held on a rotational basis in each SAARC member countries that provide an interactive platform for improving sanitation in South Asia. Bangladesh was the organizer of the first SACOSAN that was held in 2003. SACOSAN has returned to the original country after a round trip to other member countries. It has brought together high-level policymakers from every country in South Asia with representatives of community leaders to discuss regional, national and local sanitation and hygiene action, to set future actions, to share ideas. Around 400 country delegates and 50 experts from regional and global agencies are participating in this conference. We wish to extend our warmest hospitality to our guests and local participants. I hope you will enjoy your time in Dhaka and actively participate in the 6th SACOSAN proceedings. Distinguished participants. In 1971, Bangladesh attained its independence under the dynamic leadership of our father of the nation, Bangabandhu Sheikh Mujibur Rahman. He started reconstruction of the newly born countries and put emphasis on restoration of water and sanitation facilities. The daughter of Bangabandhu, our Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina, is also keen to ensure safe water and better sanitation for all citizens of Bangladesh. The present government has set target in its Vision 2021 to have universal coverage of safe water and sanitation for all within that stipulated time frame. Government has increased budgetary allocations and for sanitation in its annual development program. The NGO and development partners are also contributing to enhance sanitation coverage. Ministry of Local Government, Rural Development and Cooperative is tirelessly working to ensure safe water and sanitation for all in Bangladesh. Dear friends, today over 2.4 billion people do not have access to proper sanitation services and over 1.1 billion people defecate in open worldwide. In rural areas, 7 out of 10 people are without any good sanitation facilities, and 9 out of 10 people will practice open defecation globally. These figures suppress our shared achievement in the sanitation sector. Around 500,000 children die worldwide every year of diarrhea caused because of unsafe water and poor sanitation. Open defecation is the prime cause of unsafe and contaminated waters that takes away so many burning lives. Improvement of sanitation coverage and reduction of open defecation is not possible in isolation. Combined efforts are needed to combat this big problem. SACOSAN conference has triggered the pace of sanitation coverage in SAARC region. Open defecation has been reduced remarkably in this region. It has been reduced extraordinarily in Bangladesh. To be exact, the rate of open defecation was 42% in 2003, while it is only 1% in 2050. Asserting this piece of information, I would like to alert that there is no scope for complacency, and this 1% open defecation is unacceptable, as this can still fix the lives of our population as a whole. In 2013, United Nations has launched a call for action on sanitation, aiming at elimination of open defecation by 2025 and strengthening the partnership that can make the vision happen. United Nations has strongly emphasized the importance of sanitation and hygiene as key to reducing inequalities and achieving human development. It has clearly articulated sanitation and hygiene within the post-2015 Sustainable Development Goals. Dear delegates, all of you know the head of delegates of participating countries in FIG, SACOSAN, unanimously agreed and committed to an open defecation-free South Asia by 2023 and to a progressive move towards sustainable environmental sanitation. I am happy to announce that under the dynamic leadership of Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina, Ministry of Local Government, Rural Development and Cooperative, in collaboration with development partners and NGO, Bangladesh is progressing towards eliminating open defecation much earlier than the deadline set by 5th SACOSAN. The local government division, Government of Bangladesh, provided due importance to sanitation and hygiene. The policy support unit of the local government division has devised a good number of policies and strategies for a sector program development. 15% of the development budget of local government bodies are earmarked for providing improved sanitation facilities in rural areas. The government has identified nearly 1,200 unions, almost 1/4 of Bangladesh, as hard-to-reach areas and had taken a special program to provide sanitation services to people living in those areas. Different development projects are taken to increase sanitation coverage. Dear participants and experts, despite having success in sanitation, we still have few challenges in Bangladesh as well as other SAARC countries. Fecal sludge management is one of them. Around 98% latrines in Bangladesh are based on either septic tank or pit. Fecal sludge of these pits or septic tanks requires emptying after filling. In practice, people are not disposing fecal sludge in a sanitary fashion, which is causing contamination to open water bodies. Local government division is aware of this problem and has found a national working group that has already submitted draft institutional and regulatory framework for fecal sludge management. Ladies and gentlemen, financing for sanitation is crucial for achieving water sanitation and hygiene targets. Investment in sanitation is a worthy investment. We have to ensure sustainable financing for sanitation. We have to encourage private entrepreneurs to promote sanitation. Microfinance institutions, banks, other financial institutions should come forward to SAARC will support the SACOSAN process by adopting the SAARC Regional Action Framework for Sanitation to address the challenges of sanitation and hygiene in the region. Dear colleagues, I express my profound appreciation to the government and people of Afghanistan, Bhutan, India, Maldives, Nepal, Pakistan and Sri Lanka, as well as regional and global experts, development partners, academicians, professionals and media for their active participation in these 6 SACOSAN. At the end, I would once like to extend our gratitude and thanks to the Honorable President of Bangladesh for his kind presence in the annual session of the conference. His presence is inspiring us to have a better knowledge sharing and exchange of views which will lead to better cooperation amongst us. I thank you, my colleagues and friends. Thank you all.
এবার স্মারক উপহার প্রদান করব। অনুষ্ঠানের প্রধান অতিথি গণপ্রজাতন্ত্রী বাংলাদেশের মহামান্য রাষ্ট্রপতি জনাব মোহাম্মদ আব্দুল হামিদকে স্মারক উপহার প্রদান করবেন অনুষ্ঠানের সভাপতি জনাব মুশাররফ হোসেন এমপি।
Distinguished guests, now I would like to request the Honorable Minister Khondokar Musharraf Hossain MP, Ministry of Algerian Cooperatives, to present the SACOSAN-VI memento to our Chief Guest, His Excellency Mr. Mohammad Abdul Hamid, Honorable President, Government of the People's Republic of Bangladesh.
ধন্যবাদ মহামান্য রাষ্ট্রপতি।
Thank you, Honorable President.
সম্মানিত সুধীমণ্ডলী, এবার বিনীত অনুরোধ জানাচ্ছি আজকের অনুষ্ঠানের সম্মানিত প্রধান অতিথি গণপ্রজাতন্ত্রী বাংলাদেশের মহামান্য রাষ্ট্রপতি জনাব মোহাম্মদ আব্দুল হামিদকে তাঁর মূল্যবান ভাষণ প্রদানের জন্য এবং ষষ্ঠ সাউথ এশিয়ান কনফারেন্স অন স্যানিটেশনের শুভ উদ্বোধন করার জন্য।
I would like to request our Honorable Chief Guest, His Excellency Mr. Mohammad Abdul Hamid, Honorable President, Government of the People's Republic of Bangladesh, to deliver his valuable speech and inaugurate the 6th South Asian Conference on Sanitation.
Assalamu alaikum. Good afternoon to you all. Honorable Minister, Ministry of Hygiene, Party and World Cooperatives, Khondokar Musharraf Hossain MP, His Excellency Arjun Bahadur Thapa, Secretary General of SAARC Secretariat, Kathmandu, Nepal, Excellencies, Head of Delegates of South Asian countries, delegation members, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. I am indeed very happy to welcome you all to the 6th South Asian Conference on Sanitation in Dhaka. I am delighted to be present here at the inaugural ceremony of SACOSAN 2016. I congratulate you all on this special event, where I am sure you will find opportunities to share your knowledge and skills, and in the process contribute to strengthening regional cooperation and friendship. This conference bears immense significance as this regional conference is being held at the end of MDG and beginning of SDG based on the experience gained during 12 years of SACOSAN movement. The main objective of SACOSAN-I in 2003 was to accelerate the progress towards sustainable access to sanitation for unserved population in SACOSAN countries, including achievements of MDG target in 2050. Since the first SACOSAN in Bangladesh, it became a symbol of sanitation movement in the South Asian countries. The subsequent conference were held in Pakistan, India, Sri Lanka and Nepal. The Delhi conference added a new dimension for forming an inter-country working group to meet in between the SACOSANs to promote research and development exchange of innovation, experience and expertise and collaboration, and networking of inter-country groups and agencies. I have been informed that the 6th SACOSAN is being held with the theme Better Sanitation, Better Life. Under the strong footings of past 5 conferences held in Bangladesh, Pakistan, India, Sri Lanka, and Nepal, I believe this conference will bring the respective nations closer and open up a new window of opportunity to achieve sustainable development goals based on the experience of MDGs. Ladies and gentlemen, as you know, that water supply and sanitation is the basic need for healthy living. Sanitation is the primary intervention which protects water, air, soil, and food from contamination. Inadequate sanitation and open defecation contaminate the environment and open many routes of transmission of diseases. Diarrhea and waterborne and water-based diseases are directly or indirectly related to poor sanitation. The total population of SACOSAN countries is estimated at 1.714 billion in 2015, which is 2/3 of global population, which is 23% of global population. I have been informed that the population coverage by improved sanitation has increased from 20% in 1990 to 45% in 2015. Shared sanitation facilities have increased from 6% to 12%, and unimproved facilities from 7% to 8%. At the same time, open defecation has decreased from 67% to 35%. These achievements owe a great deal to our commitment and pioneering stance in acting as a region in water, sanitation, and hygiene sector. Bangladesh is proud to be a part of this journey. Despite its manifold challenges, Bangladesh has achieved the MDG water target and achieved good progress on reducing the sanitation gap. We have already made several other MDG targets, including reducing poverty, attaining gender parity at primary and secondary education, reducing under 5 mortality rate, and reducing the incidence of communicable diseases. However, we are aware there is still a long way to go before we achieve universal water sanitation and hygiene. We face immense pressure from rapid urbanization, climate change, and second-generation sanitation challenges, including fecal sludge management. A key concern is the rising trend of inequity we can see in South Asia, where there is a difference between use of improved sanitation facilities in rural and urban areas. As we go forward into the era of the Sustainable Development Goals, water sanitation and hygiene will come into the forefront not as a subsidiary or a contributor, but as a key area of focus in its own right, with complex interrelated impact on individual communities and the environment. It means water sanitation and hygiene is finally being acknowledged as the critical area of work that is essential to human health, well-being, and dignity. Against this very aware that we cannot afford to become complacent or lost pace. We have already started to address many of the SDG issues in the newly formulated 7th five-year plan for Bangladesh. We believe that ensuring access to safe drinking water and sanitation is part and parcel of pro-poor inclusive growth. However, the plan has also identified several areas of work beyond access, which align with the spirit of SDGs, water resources management, including reducing groundwater dependence and industrial water footprint, reducing environmental risks to health from poor sanitation, hygiene and pollution, nationwide hygiene promotion, and linking water sanitation and hygiene with health, nutrition and education. Ladies and gentlemen, I would like to conclude by thanking all of you for making the journey to come here and to be part of this auspicious event with us. I emphasize once again that water sanitation and hygiene is taking center stage in the post-MDG era. Now is the time to give our best efforts in generating innovative, sustainable solutions that will ensure our future generations to live in a healthy and hygienic atmosphere and build a prosperous South Asia. With these few words, ladies and gentlemen, I formally declare the 3-day conference, Asia Conference on Sanitation, open. Thank you all. Live forever. Assalamu alaikum.
সাউথ এশিয়ান কনফারেন্স অন স্যানিটেশনের শুভ উদ্বোধন করার জন্য সুধীমণ্ডলী মহামান্য রাষ্ট্রপতির ভাষণের মধ্য দিয়ে শেষ হল উদ্বোধনী অনুষ্ঠান। এরপর ষষ্ঠ সাউথ এশিয়ান কনফারেন্স অন স্যানিটেশন উপলক্ষে মিল্কি ওয়ে প্রাঙ্গণে আয়োজিত প্রদর্শনীর শুভ উদ্বোধন করার জন্য মহামান্য রাষ্ট্রপতির প্রতি বিনীত অনুরোধ জানাচ্ছি। ধন্যবাদ মহামান্য রাষ্ট্রপতি, ধন্যবাদ সবাইকে।
Thank you for your insightful words.
We will formally start the proceedings of the session, and we'd like to invite Professor Dr. Feroz Ahmed, Vice Chancellor, Stanford University, Dhaka, Bangladesh, for the keynote speech.
Mr. Chairman, the country representatives of the DAS, distinguished participants. I am Shud Ahmed, presenting the country report on sanitation in South Asian countries, revisiting MDG for moving towards SDG. Here, the time is short, so I will not be able to describe in details, but the paper has been distributed, I think, so you can read that later. The outline of my presentation is the background of SACOSAN movement, then sanitation with health, progress during MDG period, then a roadmap to SDG, and some concluding remarks. Well, if I speak of the history actually, in 1980-1990, the International Water Supply and Sanitation Decade was observed by United Nations, and at the end of the decade in 1990, 20% people had access to improved sanitation in South Asia as compared to 54% the global covers. So you can see that it is even half of that. Then in 2000, an evaluation was made, and it was found that 80% of the world unserved population lived in Asia. And 2000, this MDG was declared, and the objective was to halve the proportion of the people without sustainable access to sanitation, basic sanitation, by 2015. And observing the poor condition of water soil sanitation in the Asian countries, this SACOSAN, first SACOSAN was organized in 2003 in Bangladesh, and subsequently all the countries representing those conferences decided that this conference should be held in a 2 year. Now, this is the cycle that has been completed. First Bangladesh, then Pakistan, India, Sri Lanka, Nepal, and now again in Bangladesh. And this SACOSAN is more important because it is at the junction between this MDG and SDG. So the lesson learned in MDG will help us to proceed forward towards SDG. Now, I want to see something about this sanitation health. You all know that they are very much related, but recent study when the World Bank says that often defecation can be very much correlated to the standing of chairs. Similarly, they have found that there is a good correlations between the disease burden, radial disease burden, and the sanitation. And our Prime Minister, Sheikh Hasina, received UN MDG award for attaining MDG goals, particularly for reduction of child mortality. Again, child mortality is closely related to improvement of sanitation. So this is really very much recognized. Now I give you a very comparison between this 1919 achievement and 2015. You can see that in SACOSAN countries, the cover is only 20%, which has increased to 45%. And practically, this improvement is by the reduction of open defecation mainly. So this is a picture that shows the difference that we achieve all the SACOSAN countries together. Now, if I make a bit more comparison between global progress as well as SACOSAN country progress, we can see the population growth. Globally, it was 1.51%, but SACOSAN countries grew at the rate of 2.04% per year. That is, we had to provide more people access to sanitation, because the population growth is also has to be covered under this MDG. Then access to improved sanitation increased globally 14%, but in SACOSAN countries it grew about 25%. Population gained access, the percentage of present population is 28.7% globally, but in SACOSAN countries, 31.76%. Then open defecation, globally reduction takes place by 12.5%, but SACOSAN countries reduced it at 32%. So we can see that in SACOSAN countries it is better. And sometimes the progress was almost double if you compare with the global progress. So it means that this SACOSAN had a good role in improving sanitation situation in these countries. Now this gives a picture actually of individual countries, the 8 countries. The red line over there is the MDG target, and the green line on the top diagram is the coverage in 1990. The gap has to be filled in the within this MDG period. But you can see that several countries progress in different ways. Some of the countries, maybe if you look into the bottom diagram, as if the figure, which includes, say, Maldives, Pakistan, and Sri Lanka. Then Bangladesh, Bhutan, Nepal marginally missed the target. India, Afghanistan lag behind. And the best progress was made by Nepal and Pakistan because of their, how much they progress in the top diagram. And you can see that these achievements, if we consider the shared into consideration, then Bangladesh, Nepal, and Bhutan, and they will all will achieve the target. So this is actually by MDG definition we have classified. Now it is clear from here that percentage of present population covered by these countries has been shown here. Had this Maldives, Nepal, and Pakistan provided access to half of the present population within this time period. India, minimum coverage, but India alone provides 66% of the population who got access to sanitation within this region. Because India is a large country, they move slowly, but they cover the largest number of population and they provided access to sanitation. Now I go for the what we can do about this SDG. The left side you can see the progress, combined progress made. The average growth of average increase in sanitation coverage is only 1%. But if you want to have the SDG target, then we have to move a steeper slope, that is 3.67%. It may seem to be very difficult, but I think if we all take a good program, or the country have the political will, that can be achieved. It means that the open defecation now in SACOSAN countries is 35%. That has to be reduced to 0. Then unimproved and shared activities, those will have to be improved to improve sanitation, and the 25% has to be pulled up to 100%. So this is the situation if you want to have the MDG target. Now, individual countries, if we look at the performance of different countries are different. We can categorize into 3 categories. Maldives and Sri Lanka will easily achieve this SDG target within 2-3 years. Then Bangladesh, Bhutan, Nepal, Pakistan require additional effort because they will end at certain point, which is not 100%. So they need some efforts. Then Afghanistan and Pakistan will need maybe more effort to reach the target of 100% coverage of sanitation. Now if we look into here, that's the diagram here, the second column gives the current progress of sanitation per year. This middle column shows where they will reach if they continue with this percentage increase. And the last column shows what is the percentage increase needed to achieve the SDG. Because now three countries, Bangladesh, Bhutan, Maldives, Sri Lanka, have achieved the ODF status almost as if and sometimes 21% is not much. So these three countries both more or less achieve the ODF status. Then Afghanistan and Pakistan as well as Nepal will achieve the ODF status if they even decrease the authentication and current. But India will not. So India needs additional effort to reduce its authentication to 0. That's the situation, So I think maybe I can conclude now in that way. The South Asian countries
I think for three important reasons. First is we've always had a perspective that sanitation happens over time as an economy develops, and the sanitation happens only after water is delivered. But empirically, we now recognize that unless sanitation is addressed, the problems of stunting, the problems of ill health, job loss, and most incredibly, dignity and decades, we know that countries can bend the trajectory of history and deliver sanitation before economic development fulfills its mission in leading countries from low income to middle income and above. And I think that today the gathering of this SACOSAN is indeed a confirmation that countries can indeed shift the trajectory of sanitation delivery. The second reason why I think this is a historical meeting is it comes at a point, as Professor Feroz Ahmed mentioned, that we have shifted from the world of MDGs to the world of SDGs. But this shift is not a trivial shift. It is a shift in which there are two very important commitments that are being made. One, a commitment of inclusion, which means that when services are delivered, it's delivered universally to everyone. No one is left. And second, it's a commitment to create the right institutions that will ensure that sanitation is delivered. And by right institutions, we know that in some countries it will be local governments. In other countries, it will be utilities. But without any doubt, across all countries, the involvement of citizens and communities as they engage local governments, as they engage utilities, is going to be extremely important in ensuring the shift into SDGs. And I think that the Dhaka SACOSAN statement has got to be a statement in which the South Asian countries are going to step forward and say what it is that they are going to do to shift from an MDG to an SDG world, to shift from a world of targeted delivery to universal access, which is completely inclusive and one that has institutions that can deliver. And that's a tall order, but this is the historic moment for us to achieve that. And the final reason why today's meeting is historical is because we've all come home. SACOSAN started here in Bangladesh. It has now come back to Bangladesh. And I think that it is important that as we move away from Bangladesh, the countries that have come together from this cycle of delivery of SACOSAN over the decade now makes a commitment in the Dhaka Declaration, which will bring notice to the rest of the world that South Asia has made a commitment for the future for their citizens in sanitation. We are going to get a glimpse of these commitments and presentations by each country today. And I think that today's presentation should be seen as the, what shall we say, the beginning of the conversation. That the conversation will land up as a summary in the Dhaka Declaration as a bold step of how South Asia will move from an MDG focus to an SDG focus. So with that, I'm going to invite our representatives of different countries to give their presentation. And I just have to say that the only reason I've been asked to chair this is I'm known as a very good timekeeper. So I've been told that no other country should get more than 10 minutes, and I'm going to keep to that very much. So with that warning, if I can request our representatives to start. First, we will ask the colleague from Afghanistan, Mr. Ghulam Qadir, Director of Water and Sanitation, to present the story of Afghanistan. 10 minutes, please.
Sure. Very good afternoon, Mr. Chair, respected country focal person, Excellencies, delegates, ladies and gentlemen, very to hygiene is top of the field. In this presentation, I'd like to take you very quickly to the institutional setup of the sanitation sector, sanitation situation in Afghanistan, financing, challenges, opportunities, and a very short video from the Afghan colleagues, CLTS. Dear friends, in Afghanistan, mainly the rural sanitation program is being implemented through the Ministry of Rural Rehabilitation and Development. And the partners are the NGOs, the community-based organizations, CDCs, and district development assemblies. And we have also the Ministry of Public Health, Ministry of Education, and Ministry of Urban Water Supply, who is taking care of the urban sanitation. Situation of the sanitation in Afghanistan. As you can see in the chart, it looks that 1/5 of the population is defecating open. And sometimes if you take this one, it looks that almost 80% of the Afghans are using toilets. But if you go a little bit deeper, you will see that improved sanitation is only 13%. But if you're going to count the percentage of the wall treatments where almost 60% of the rural populations are using, is mostly the covered and open wall toilets. This is based on the new survey of 2014, which is called Afghan Living Condition Survey. And here it shows the progress from 2005 up to 2014. Urban sanitation. As you can see the photographs, traditional night soil collection is still widespread, and it's common. So early in the morning you will see that people with the horse and donkeys are transporting the feces, which is getting the environment polluted and is also a health hazard for the children. But currently in Kabul, a lot of urban development programs are going on, which is focusing on the sewage system, drainage, and also fecal management. If you see the map here, which has been gotten from the survey of 2014, it shows that only in 3 provinces of the country, most of the open defecations are residing in these 3 provinces. And here if you see, 90% of the open defecators are in 17 provinces. So this is where we are going to focus from now on. Sanitation financing. As you can see, Afghanistan is mostly dependent on the external fundings. And a very limited portion is contributed by the government and public sectors. Doing all these things, we have a couple of challenges. As you all know that security, floods, and droughts are one of the main challenges, but still understaffing, especially at the subnational level, is a key challenge for us. And of course, inequalities between poor and rich.
مناسب داشتیم و خاطر اینکه یک کلاس مجموعه از ما جنرال نداشت، یک جنرال‌ها وضعیتش خیلی خراب بود، مواد فاضله در فضای آزاد دیده میشد و تخلیه‌های جنرال‌ها کنش باز بود. بسیار مردم زیاد مشکلات اطفال‌ها مریض میشد، در روز شفاخانه میبود، دیگه مریضی اسهال و استدراک هم خیلی زیاد بود. یا مردم اقتصاد ضعیف بود، میره شفاخانه که نوبت نمیافت، بازوی پیش دکتر شخصی یک مقدار پول قرض میکرد تا اطفال‌های خود تداوی کنند. بعد فعلا که آن فعلا کارمندان سیاه آمدن، دیگه ورکشاپ دادن، مردم آگاهی دادن، این کسایی که مردم آگاه شدن دیدن که علمی مریضی‌هایی که برگرن سبزیجاتش میشیم یا از خطر خاطر این اکتسابات و نجازات است و این میدن که مردم تشناب گیر کردن برای خودت کنم، دیگه تشناب‌ها را تخلیه‌هایش پر کردن و این مواد فایده دیگه در بازار باز نیست. حال امراض بیشی کم شده، تقریبا 60% امراض کم شده. حال اطفال‌های ما مریض نمیشن الحمدلله. از احساس استدراک بیشی خلاص شده و دیگه بعد اقتصاد ما خوب شده. خاطر قبلا ما چیزی پولی که داشتیم، پولی که از دوا و کم مصرف می‌کردیم مال برگرد، اطفال‌های ما مریض نمیشه. بسیار خوب است. قریه ما پاک شده. ما زیاد تشکر می‌کنیم از کارمندانی که
مشکلاتی که ما در این قریه داشتیم، اول تشناب داشتیم کم و دوم دیگه اگر تشناب داشتیم از تشناب به صورت درست استفاده نمی‌کنیم. تشناب‌های ما صحیح نبوده و نفهمیدیم، به خاطر معلومات نداشتیم و کلی مردم‌های بی‌سواد قریه هستیم. بعد از اینکه مؤسسه انکشاف دیهات آمده و ما درباره سکته سیاه صحه معلومات داد. از قریه ما مثلا مرد زن و نمایندگی بودک و نمایندگی مثلا اینا معلومات میده و خودشان هم هفته یا 2 هفته بعد میامد برای ما معلومات میده درباره صحه یا صحت. ما رفتیم اونجا ترمینگ‌های زیاد دیدیم، ورکشاپ‌ها دیدیم در کل مرکز بومیان و در قریه. اینجا معلومات داره که مثلا از کدام طریق میتونه مریضی برای انسان‌ها سرایت کنه. تشکری میکنم از کل کارمندای انکشاف دیهات و همراهی که برنامه سکته سر پیش برد.
وقتی که سرش پنهان باشه و پایینش پنهان باشه اول از پشت داخل میشه. دوی داده در تشناب میره فرض مثال پس در شیرینه استدراک خود قطعابون میشه از خاطر که میکروب یه سال این چیزا میره جلوگیری میشه.
Comandoi si, din jamaat marayata ki peşetna distoyfne kasobu bushi tashnab kilimeveri das bushi.
اگر مؤسسات گندمی یک نفع کمک میشد این امکان داشت در رضایت ما این خلاص میشد و فعلا این واقعی که برای از ما دادن این همیشه برای از ما یک تجربه شد، برای از ما خیلی خوب شد. این واقعی ما بالا رفت، مریضی ها کاهش پیدا کرد. یک گرزی نگاه ما خیلی پیش هستیم.
Very much devoted to community-based systems. Very powerful messages, and congratulations. Certainly less than 10 minutes. I congratulate you for that. To Bangladesh now, Mrs. Khalida Hassan, Chief Engineer, DPAG, Government of Bangladesh.
With a total area 1,47,578 square kilometer and total population around 153 million, where 72% rural and 28% urban. GDP growth rate 6.58 and GDP per capita $1.235. Bangladesh has a number of policy and strategic documents to support the progress of sanitation. For example, the National Policy for Safe Water Supply and Sanitation 1998, major guiding document of the water supply and sanitation sector, the National Sanitation Strategy 2005, National Strategy for Water Supply and Sanitation 2014 that covers the pro-code strategy, hard-to-reach strategy, hygiene promotion strategy, cost-sharing strategy. Sector Development Plan, financial year 2011 to 2025, medium-term budget framework approach, long-term perspective plan 2010 to 21, 7th five-year plan 2016 to 20. Where we were in 2003 when started our journey, we had 33% improved sanitation coverage, 42% open defecation, 19% people wash hand with water and soap after defecation. Current status is improved sanitation 61%, open defecation 1%, 40% people wash hands with water and soap after defecation. This achievement could be possible due to strong leadership of Ministry of HGRD and cooperatives, dissemination of sanitation promotion techniques like community-led total sanitation, local government institutions' strong role, government NGO collaboration at all levels, long-term assistance from donors, development partners, media campaigns, technological innovations and creative marketing approaches, easy access to latrine materials and skilled machines. As you can see that the national wash budget during 2014 to 15 was 41 billion BDT, which is equivalent to 5% of national development budget. Bangladesh addresses the sanitation problem, recognizing that changing social, cultural and religious norms are central to changing the practice, stopping open defecation, investment in hygiene promotion, and social mediation and provision of affordable sanitation options to the poor are very important. Women's inclusion in the decision-making process introduced, washing schools program.
This is a framework for implementing the water supply in the country. We have overall the gross national happiness commission. This is basically the organization which is responsible for planning and budgeting of all the activities in the high-tech plants. Then we have the rural water supply, the rural water supply is under the Ministry of Health, and urban water supply is with the Ministry of Work and Human Settlement. And under the institution setup, we have the Ministry of Education, which looks after the modern education system, and we have also the national network of the monastic body, which looks after the monastic education system. This is our status of sanitation and hygiene. If you see nationally, 2015 and 2012 report, if you see rural is 57%, urban is 90.5%, and nationally it is 66.63%. Now, toilet ratios in schools, there is 1:40 boys. I think, so if you see the PCR is the external classroom, high schools, middle secondary, lower secondary, primary, and the nationally is 40% coverage, and for girls is 25%. That's how the policy and strategies on sanitation. We have for the rural water supply, we have the rural water supply sector policy 2002, strategy document as well as sanitation hygiene. And for urban, we have Water and Sanitation Rule 1995, the Waste Management and Prevention Act 2009, Environmental Code of Practice for Sanitation Sewerage Management 2000, Waste Prevention and Management Regulation 2012. And for institutions, including schools and monastic bodies, we have no standalone policy or statute documents, but the school health and safety guidelines 2014 is there. So, this is how sanitation hygiene water system is being done, both in the rural and urban areas. Usually look at toilet access, usage and hand washing. In urban areas in terms of coverage, service delivery, and effluent discharge. In schools, through coverage, functionality and hand washing facilities, and in monitoring institutions also through coverage, functionality and hand washing facilities. So some of the best practices and innovations that we have been able to implement. In the rural areas, we have got a community-based approach. Then we have sanitation demand creation through the water governance, sanitation supply chain and financing, hygiene and behavioral change communication. Urban areas, by and large, it is the government-driven approach, but of late, number of private sector NGOs have been taking keen interest in solid waste management and advocating on public toilet usage. In schools, we have the mass and washing facilities. And we have separate toilets for boys and girls. Principal and school health coordinators are all involved in hygiene promotion. Every year, over 100 school health coordinators are trained. The coordination of school health coordinators for the outstanding contribution. Medical schools mobilize funds to buy toilet amenities. Approximately 5% of total population still practice open defecation. It will be a huge challenge to declare the country ODF anytime soon with the current and basically because I think informal sectors in the urban areas that does not get urban amenities so will get to be given special attention. The sustainable wastewater treatment system that uses less mechanical parts and energy required for urban areas. And despite commendable progress made in sanitation coverage, diarrheal incidence still remains high. And provision of adequate water supply at all times remains a big challenge. And I think government support is very crucial for long-term sustainability of the program. Capital partners continue to support the WASH program. Ensuring gender sensitivity and social inclusion in the delivery of sanitation and hygiene services still is at an early stage.
This is analysis of the sanitation situation in South Asia, where he made a mention that amongst some other countries, India needs to make significant effort to reach the SDG goals. I did a quick calculation of what has been happening over the last time we met in Kathmandu. 14th October 2014, 2nd October 2014, we launched Swachh Bharat mission. And the pace of progress since then, I was doing a quick calculation, the annual rate would be of the order of about 5.6%. So we will definitely reach the SDG goals. But the worry is that the targets that we have set for ourselves, they are the really challenging targets. So what I am going to present in the next few minutes is what we have been doing since we last met in Kathmandu. I will be joined by my colleagues from Human Resource Development Ministry and Ministry of Urban Development. They would highlight on what's been happening in their sectors. many of you would be aware that there is a very, very strong political commitment now to the Clean India campaign, which has been launched from this 2nd October 2014. This slide gives you a picture of what the sanitation situation has been over a couple of decades. In 1981 census, our rural sanitation coverage was 1%, so practically everybody was defecating in the open. The last census also indicated a figure of about close to 33%, but since then there has been substantial progress, which has been validated by nationwide sample survey also, and the program monitoring presently indicates a coverage of, as we speak, as the minister said today, was 49.3%. This is a little dated. This program was launched on the 2nd October 2019, and it involved freedom from open defecation and appropriate solid and liquid waste management. It is predominantly relying on the hygiene behavior, and for that behavior change communication that is required. It consists of two components. One is related to the urban areas, and the other one relates to the rural areas. The schools and pre-primary Anganwadi centers, we call them, they are also handled by the respective departments for better coordination. The states, obviously, because we have such a large country, federal setup, the states are the implementing agencies. Swachh Bharat Mission provides, we provide in India assistance for building toilets to households. And in fact, all the below poverty line households are covered, and a large number of even people who are above the poverty line, depending on different criteria, they are also eligible for assistance. There is assistance available also for solid and liquid waste management, which is based on the number of households in a particular Gram Panchayat. And there is a substantial amount of fund available for behavior change application. Now this has been the kind of change that has happened before the launch of the program, and after the launch there was many hindrances that we had identified in our earlier programs. Those were all removed when the Swachh Bharat Mission was launched, and that led to a substantial increase in the pace of implementation of the program. Now, the program is essentially having a key focus on the behavior change communication, and it is community-based. The earlier programs, I mean, long back, the programs were supply-driven, and people thought that maybe construction of toilet was enough. But it has been increasingly realized that if a toilet comes as a kind of the toilet is built by the government agencies without involving the households and the community, it is often unlikely to be used. What we have done is we have defined open defecation. What exactly is the definition of open defecation free community? It actually means that everybody has access to safe sanitation, and there are no visual signs of open defecation in that community. The guidelines for ODF verification also have been
to 600 million in the next 15 years. It has put a severe stress on the sanitation infrastructure in India. Recognizing this, the government has therefore launched 3 major missions. The first one, the most important one, is Swachh Bharat Mission Urban. This mission will cover 4041 statutory towns in India. The second mission is the Atal Mission for Rejuvenation and Urban Transformation. This will cover 500 cities. And the third one is the Smart Cities Mission. All these 3 missions have the essential component of sanitation for their outcomes. The Swachh Bharat Mission. Basically, there are 3 major outcomes which we want to achieve. The first is to build 10 million individual household toilets. So these 10 million toilets are those toilets where the urban households don't have any toilets, and the second part is where there are insanitary toilets. This is the first part. The second part is for having 0.5 million community and public toilets. So community toilets will cater to those families which can't build a toilet in their houses, and public toilets is obviously for the floating population. But our major challenge for the mission is for the solid waste management. 4041 cities solid waste management. With India's growing population and waste generation. So this, out of the total budget of 14,000 crore which the central government is going to give for the mission, 7,000 crores is for the solid waste management alone. And this is the major challenge of our mission, but we're addressing these through many measures. The government is taking policy decisions, we're hand-holding the cities and the states, and we're also effecting behavior change amongst the citizens. We have realized that behavior change, citizen involvement is key to all the missions in the government. So recently we launched a Swachhta survey, a survey for cleanliness. This survey will cover 75 cities of India to begin with, and through this survey we will inculcate positive competition among the cities, and it's already generating a lot of interest. And the cities are all gearing up to be the best city, the cleanest city in India. Thank you.
Good afternoon. Thank you very much. I'm here just to briefly inform you about the Swachh Vidyalaya campaign, which was basically based on the directions of the Prime Minister, that within 1 year, every government school in the country should have separate segregated toilets for girls and boys. And I'm very happy and very proud to say that it was a huge challenge, but within 1 year, we were able to achieve this target. So that is a major achievement on our part. I was listening to the colleague from Bangladesh. I think you said the population is 153 million. We have almost 140 million children in government schools alone, and every one of them now has access to a toilet. And this was achievable largely on account of the public sector, the private sector, and everyone forming a team. We also made a very innovative website, which you can please see, the Swachh Vidyalaya website, which uploaded photographs of all the toilets as they were being constructed. So we knew that's actually happening. Thank you so very much. Thank you.
Committed to achieving the SDG goals. As I said in the beginning, we have a much bigger challenge. Our own internal challenge is to become Swachh or achieve all those targets before 2019. It's a big challenge, and we are trying very hard to do that. I would recommend that we are having a parallel session, one of the parallel sessions later in the evening, Swachh Bharat mission. Some of you, I would request, please join, and we will have a little more discussion on Swachh Bharat, what we are trying to do for this mission in India. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Clearly, India is a story of scale. How do you deliver in a federal system multi-tiered governments of the population size? I think Swachh Bharat is responding to that challenge with all the elements that we are seeing in the other countries of behavior, institutions, and incentives. Thank you very much for the presentation, though we must record that India has taken 3 extra minutes than other countries. So we'll see if we'll catch up with the time. Let me invite now Maldives and Mohammed Mustafa, who's the Director and Country Focal Person, Government of Maldives.
My dear friends, friendly country focal persons and distinguished guests and ladies and gentlemen. The Maldives being a small country, actually we don't have land or even openly to defecate. So this is a platform we commonly talk on open defecation. Whether it is fortunate or unfortunate, it is a small country where we don't have land for open defecation. So we will talk, we call it, when always in the past when they defecate, we call it beach defecation. But fortunately we have kept an end of that open defecation, beach defecation. And before we go there, the status of the country regarding the sanitation, this shows the features of the country. It is a very small and the only low-lying island nation in this group. Like we have over 1,000 islands, and among them 198 are inhabited islands. Total population is still very low, like 0.3 million people, and the average elevation is like 1.5 meters from mean sea level. I will go at the overview of sanitation. Like until the early 90s, we had what we call defecation in the bush and beach, and defecation in the backyard. But we didn't have open defecation which other neighboring countries they have. We had chicken line and cholera in the 70s and 80s, so that has been the benchmark of the water-based modern sewer sanitation which we are putting now. As well as that, septic tanks, small bore shallow sewer systems, which we started in early 90s. So after that, all houses in Maldives that we built, they built with a toilet. So we don't have sharing toilets, we don't have what we call community toilets. So all houses in Maldives, in the island, they have their own focusing issues that since we have a very limited freshwater resource, so we always focus on to protect existing groundwater tables. So that's one important aspect we look in when the government designs these systems. Again, the cost recovery of existing systems and giving a sustainable service is also a big challenge. We have a lot of development partners with the government, because I have mentioned a few here, like development banks, World Bank, IDB, ADB, World Bank, etc. These are development banks which we are getting support to the government in building the system. And the partners and individual-led organizations include WHO, UNICEF, USAID, UNDP, etc. So also we recently added some more like CCTF Climate Change Trust Fund, and very recently one more has been added like Green Climate Fund. So these are funding sources and development partners.
Fascinating to listen to the context of Afghanistan, the deltas of Bangladesh, the mountains of Bhutan, the scale of India, and then you arrive to the islands of Maldives. And all through trying to understand where sanitation, what role sanitation plays. Also very fascinating to see another one of the countries of South Asia that's made the transition from open defecation to other challenges of sanitation, which are fascinating. It's something that I'll come back to at the conclusion. I'd like to now invite the representative of Nepal, Mr. Rajan Raj Pandey, country focal person, Joint Secretary, Ministry of Water and Sanitation.
Mr. Chair, please start the clock now, after the meeting, please.
Nepal, the land of Mount Everest, the birthplace of Gautam Buddha. Mountain peaks range on top, the mellow hills lush with rhododendrons, and the gold harvesting plains of Dhaka. The country which upholds unity and diversity. Amid many languages, religions, cultures, traditions, and lifestyles, this country has in it its population of 28 million people together with a garland of unity. Nepal is also venturing into a new era. After movements and struggles of different phases, a republican setup has been established in Nepal. Nepali people have written their own constitution. The newly promulgated constitution enshrines drinking water and sanitation as fundamental rights of the people. Recently, government of Nepal has established Ministry of Water Supply and Sanitation to focus on water supply and sanitation. This is an important achievement in the campaign of sanitation. At present, 81% achievement in Nepal's basic sanitation and 85% in drinking water have been accomplished so far. This outcome is a result of a journey of more than 3 decades. The official commence of the sanitation drive in Nepal began only after 1980. Until then, only 2% of the Nepali population had toilets at homes. This increased to 6% in 1990. Come 2000, 25% of Nepalese had toilets at homes. In 2010, this improved to 60%. In 2015, it had been possible for this figure to rise to 81%. Although many lives were lost due to spread of diseases born out of lack of sanitation, the number of victims has now gone down. The campaign of total sanitation is moving ahead in tandem now. The challenging issue of the urban dwellings waste management has also been a top priority now. Nepal is currently witnessing a surge of wave in declaring open defecation-free areas. With the concept of one house, one toilet, providing access to toilets at each Nepalese home by 2017 is Nepal's national goal. The great campaign of sanitation has received participation, cooperation, and support from presidents, vice presidents, prime ministers, and high-level officers of different types. People have also become active in sanitation. Be it village or city, the desire is to create a clean Nepal. This can be seen in the eyes of the people. Schools, students, and teachers have been spreading awareness on sanitation. Women's groups, mothers' groups, and health volunteers in villages have been blowing the bugle of sanitation. People of each status, occupation, and community in societies have become aware about sanitation. With government's leadership, collaboration of stakeholders, and people's ownership, the campaigns of sanitation are being accelerated from the central to local levels. Now, with a zero subsidy, basic sanitation facility has to be provided to homes of 90% of the people. That too within 2017. Though this is not easy, it isn't impossible either. The earthquake of 2015 has ravaged the country. This has also posed a huge challenge in the goals to be achieved in sanitation. However, Nepal has not lost hope. The tremor shook our homes, but our will has not been shaken. We are coming together again for reconstruction. The toilet building drive is still on. Sanitation and Hygiene Master Plan 2011, MDG Acceleration Framework, and even the 5th Conference of South Asian Nations on Sanitation that concluded in Nepal have all added the roadmap, inspiration, and encouragement to accomplish the national goal. Let us hope, let us have belief, and let us trust that our goal in sanitation, Mission 2017, will be accomplished.
Well, the man to you. That is for your great presence. My dear country focal point, distinguished invitees, ladies and gentlemen. So this country presentation of Sri Lanka, first of all, will look into a small video presentation about the overview of Sri Lanka.
The Democratic Socialist Republic of Sri Lanka, located north of the equator in the Indian Ocean, has a population of 20.5 million, occupying a land area of 65,610 square kilometers. Being a country which inherits a long, splendid history, Sri Lanka is enriched with natural beauty and a dignified cultural heritage. She attracts tourists from all over the world. She also is a fast developing country. Sri Lanka is a multi-ethnic, multi-religious nation. Annual population growth rate has dropped to about 1%. The country has a high literacy rate and life expectancy and a low rate of infant mortality and compares well with the developed countries. The country has a safe water coverage of 85.7%. 45.4% population is served with pipe-borne water. Sri Lanka is endowed with the strength of the South Asian Sanitation Conference. Urbanization goes hand in hand with her development. In the wake of them, Sri Lanka has taken some gigantic measures in order to provide the people with the required sanitation facilities in the proper way. As a result of it, Sri Lanka secures the highest percentage of 91.3% in making available adequate sanitation for people among the South Asian countries. Providing school children with sanitary facilities, particularly improving the health condition of the people of the North and East by providing them with domestic toilet facilities and building public toilet at places where domestic toilet cannot be built in order to launch an environment-friendly program, etc., are the major steps being taken. By making the Student Colombo Declaration, which was presented at the South Asian Sanitation Student Conference held in 2015 a reality, overall objective of the conference was to establish a model for children and youth participation in knowledge sharing and decision making related to water, sanitation and hygiene, wash sector. Sri Lanka strives towards a goal with dignity.
you see that Sri Lanka has achieved 91.3% of sanitation coverage. To achieve that, all the government institutions and departments got together, there's an institutional framework and functional relationships. That if you see that there are ministries and other agencies at the top level for policy making and budgetary provision, then we have government organizations like National Water Supply and Drainage Board, Provincial Council for regulatory purposes, and we have district officers in various departments and water board, and also the district secretaries at the district level to review the monitoring and review the programs. And we have civil societies, CPOs, and district level partners as a service provider. This is
for children under the age of 5, and one of the major factors behind this is the poor sanitation and hygiene services in the country. However, despite the country's meager resources, almost half of its population now has access to improved sanitation. Our government has put forward a comprehensive national development plan called Vision 2025, prioritizing sanitation as one of the elements of prosperous Pakistan. The government of Pakistan recently hosted second Pakistan conference on sanitation with the objective to realize this goal. I urge the global community for its full support to Pakistan in ensuring universal and sustainable access to improved sanitation and hygiene by 2030 as part of the United Nations post-2015 Sustainable Development Goals. I personally offer my full support towards the advancement of the sanitation and hygiene movement in the country and to make Pakistan a healthy and prosperous nation. Pakistan, Zindabad. Ladies and gentlemen, Assalamu alaikum and good day. I would like to convey on behalf of my country our strong support to universal and sustainable access to the improved sanitation and hygiene.
Thank the government of Pakistan for sharing this.
Bangladesh. They have mentioned that the safe sanitation is around 61% and open defecation is 1%. So around 38% it means it's not a safe sanitation. Whether this, what the action is being taken by the government of Bangladesh for covering those 38%. And second is, I mean, how do they consider them as open defecation free?
So unfortunately, Mrs. Khalida is unable to leave, but I will ask if there's anyone from the Bangladesh delegation.
Practically trying to eliminate open defecation, and then in a sanitation ladder, they will gradually improve this sanitation, unsafe sanitation to some, say, improved sanitation. That's the way we are trying to achieve the 100% sanitation. Now the question is that in our country, I think the largest, about 28% having shared levy, and that is not yet considered as an improved levy. But if we add that 28%, then our will be something like maybe 12% exceeding the MDG target. But still we are saying that in our country, very densely populated country, somewhere in the urban area, we cannot help without having this shared levy. So shared levy, if it is maintained properly, it should be considered as a improved levy.
Any other questions?
My name is Kusuma from Sri Lanka, and the question is to the delegates from India. Could you kindly comment on the level, if any, and the plans to scale out manual scavenging?
Manual scavenging, as you're aware, is banned in the country. In 1993, we had a framework law which banned dry latrines, which actually leads to manual scavenging. But 2011 census, when we carried out, we found some dry latrines in some parts of the country. The number was a pretty small number, and the inference was that manual scavenging is still going on. So now we have a very, very robust law since 2013, which is under implementation, and any manual scavenging, any action or any action by any municipal body, public authority, or individual which leads manual scavenging is punishable. As far as the insanitary latrines which lead to this type of manual scavenging is concerned, the government programs subsidize, as I mentioned, that India has an incentivization program that provides assistance for construction of latrines in individuals' households. So wherever there is an insanitary latrine, that household is eligible for conversion assistance from the government. Practically every household in the country which might be having an insanitary latrine is eligible for incentives. So these are the two key things that we have at the moment.
To India, since India is providing subsidy for their sanitation program, and yesterday I read somewhere that 45% or 46% of the latrines constructed under the Swachh Bharat program were used. So it means that more than 50% are not used. Is there any plan to look back to your program and review it and then think about a different strategy?
Well, I can respond to that. The first fact is that I don't know where you read that news report from. That report is not based on facts. The other thing is that subsidy does have a problem if you try to concentrate on just the target chasing. But as I mentioned in the beginning, in my presentation, I said that subsidy, the assistance comes later. The first part is triggering behavior change in communities, and then only the infrastructure follows. So that's the current strategy. And as I mentioned in my presentation again, that the flexibility has been given to the states.
And I have two questions. One for the SACOSAN Secretariat and the other one for sanitation in South Asian countries, keynote paper presented from Bangladesh. The first one is on SACOSAN Secretariat. In 2013, we have made some commitments as declarations while in Kathmandu. And we have seen that in country paper, Bangladesh has presented the progress against those commitments. But I did not see where did we reach on our commitment from 2013 to 2015. That is one question for SACOSAN Secretariat. And the other question for these keynote paper presenters from Bangladesh is that there is progress against MDGs of all SAARC countries. But the country paper presentation, the status of country paper presentation and the status given in this keynote address is different. We need some clarifications. Thank you.
I will ask Professor Feroz Ahmed. So,
JMP data. Now, the JMP data quite often differ from the country data. The country, usually they have got own monitoring system. I was asked by Indian delegate also that their own data is sometimes different. But I use completely the JMP data. And JMP data they have got a system of using this say improved latin, unimproved latin, share latin, and open definition and so on. But the country sometimes, even in Bangladesh, data is different from that we see in the JMP data. So this is a difference because sometimes in the country they consider some of the sanitation option as maybe improved option, but the JMP do not. That's a problem. And sometimes the commitment that we make is not sometimes fully achieved. For example, Bangladesh, we say that we have achieved something more than 80% sorts of improved sanitation. But that includes the shared latrine also. I said already that shared latrine we have got 28% coverage. If we add that, that becomes a huge uplift of our sanitation coverage. So individual country may have different data, but JMP collect data from their own sources, like gas or some other sources, and that way they present it. And my presentation is completely on JMP data. I did not consider the country data or the individual data presented by the countries. Thank you.
Question handled through Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana, that is housing for all, which includes construction of houses in the areas known as slums or developed as illegal land subdivision. These two types of areas normally have majority of shared latrines. So Government of India has taken up a program known as Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana in the urban areas to provide 20 million houses. And a large part of these houses will minimize the incidence of shared latrines.
Thank you for the question. I'm not a health personnel, but I'll try my best to answer your question about polio. Is that right? You were asking what the government is doing to assist the polio patients. Is that right? Was it your question? Management of sanitation for polio affected people. Yes, okay. I'll talk about sanitation then. Okay, our zero subsidy policy is intact, but 10%, up to 10% marginalized community will get subsidy from after they build the toilet, like India is doing right now. They are giving it to all, but we have limited that to just 10%. And regarding polio vaccination and these medicines are free in Nepal for the polio patients. Thank you. I don't know whether I clarified your queries. Okay? Thank you.
You can also afterwards talk with our delegate from Nepal. Final question.
My name is Rashid Bari. I'm representing Water Care NGO in Maldives. My question goes to Maldives, and the question is on capacity development. Mustafa's presentation mentioned that capacity is lacking, and then technical capacity is lacking. That is one of the reasons why we are unable to speed as much as we want. So, the observation here is that we have all the ingredients. We have all the ingredients. We have the partners here who are willing to contribute their knowledge. And we also have water companies that are making quite a bit of profit, and they are also paying the government as dividends. So I'm wondering these resources can be used to bring in more innovation in training. So the question is, what are the kind of novel ways we can actually speed up the training and improve capacity development? Thank you.
So the question is on how do you speed up capacity development?
Thank you for that question on Maldives. And it is first time that we have a question on Maldives from this audience, this SACOSAN audience. We welcome, government welcomes to companies in the private sector who engage in water supply or sanitation business to come join in hand with the government to increase the capacity within the Maldives. So what I mentioned in the presentation is that because more
for boosting prosperity. Thank you very much.
Thank you. I'd like to thank Mr. Junaid Ahmed Kamal Ahmed, Professor Dr. Feroz Ahmed, and the respective country speakers for a wonderful session. Now we have the last segment of today, which is sharing a regional analysis of tracking progress of South Asia countries on SACOSAN-V commitments. And I'd like to invite Dr. Sita Ram, Swami Vitranand Youth Movement, and National Convener Pansa India for the session.
Good afternoon, all of you, and Honorable Chair and respected dignitaries on the dais. At the outset, we are extremely thankful for the organizers of the event to have allocated this time and opportunity to make a brief presentation on the specific progress that's been achieved on each of the commitments made in SACOSAN-V. After the onerous task of capturing the general progress in the sector, now we come specifically to the commitments made. The presentation now will be more on the progress made as assessed in
I would request everyone to be kindly seated. We will have this 10-minute session and then we will be breaking for side events. Thank you. See the conference program where the side events in the hall name has been given, and the side events will be starting by 5:30. And those delegates, international and regional, who are interested in the field visits, are kindly requested to register outside. There's a booth. The vehicle from the BICC for all the delegates will leave after the side events are finished. One last announcement, that the declaration working group, that meeting is convened at Sunargam Hotel at 6 o'clock, and we have a vehicle ready for all the country focal persons and 5 representatives of the partner organizations. So kindly join us in the declaration meeting at Sunargam Hotel. The venue is Nirala Kodu. So we thank everyone for being here, and Dr. Feroz for being with us till the end, and some of the country presenters. And I think on behalf of the SACOSAN Secretariat, we close today's session, and thank you for joining us.